GM farmers, welcome to CropBytes community call. Hope that you all had a great week farming. Hope that all your animals are healthy and happy. Actually, this session is mainly because we have noticed that a lot of farmers wanted to understand how to use the game assets on chain, since assets were minted on Polygon. So you have the opportunity to now take them outside the game to do whatever it is that you want with them. There are apps that you can use them on. You can save them in your wallet. At the same time, because of this change, nothing would actually change for people who just want to continue farming and using their assets inside the game. So they don't need to do anything. But in case you're interested to take your assets outside, you have the opportunity to do that now. So we thought that we'll just give you sort of a brief guide on how to use these assets on chain, and we thought of also giving some general knowledge about blockchain along with that. So that will be the highlight of the call. But before we get into that, let's just see what all we'll be doing on the call tonight. So to start with, there will be a small sneak peek around like the action items for the next quarter, and I just want to share some info with you around the future and more use cases for superheroes and what the team is working on in terms of service economy, in terms of the jobs that are being created. So we'll start with a small sneak peek on that, and then we'll have the educative session. I'll be presenting my screen and taking you through a few slides. And at the end of the event, there will be a trivia game. As usual, we always like to do that for every call. So we are doing that today as well. It's a lot of fun. And yes, you can participate and win CBXPs. So the trivia will be around the blockchain technology. So let's see how much you guys know about this already. And obviously, while the call is happening, you guys can put down your questions in the general chat. We have our team members here who will be able to take that. And after the trivia is done, we'll also I'll try and take up some questions from the general chat that are based on the topic. All right. So if you guys are ready to get started, please share a thumbs up in the general chat, and we'll start then. Harry Bob, even I've been waiting to play the CropBytes anthem here. So yeah, thanks for adding that on Spotify. That was really cool. All right, so I'll just present my screen and we can get started. I hope that you're able to see my screen. You'll have to click on the stream. If you see there's a option to just click on that and you'll be able to check out my stream.
Yeah, your screen is visible, Abhishek.
So we'll be recording this call and you'll be able to access this later also. And like a lot of people ask these questions in the chat, so you can even like share this video with them if they want to know more about how to use these scenes. Yes, Harry, you can record, but we'll be sharing the recording. Jetpacker, just go to the community call section where you see all the tiles, and on the top left corner, you'll be able to see my stream. So you can just click on that, and you'll be able to see my presentation. All right, without further ado, let's get started with this. In case there are any questions, please ask them in the general chat, and someone from the team can sort of stop me and ask the question before we move on to the next section. So yeah, this is all about how you can use your assets on chain. So let's get started with that. I just divided this into two parts. The first part is just some general information around what is a blockchain, what is a wallet, what are these different types of keys that are involved, and a few things about a smart contract since you'll be interacting with these while transferring these assets. All right. So, what is a blockchain? So, blockchain is essentially a public ledger. It's a digital public ledger. And if you've seen ledgers, usually like how people do bookkeeping, every entry is added in the ledger, one after the other. As transactions happen, you add a entry one after the other on the ledger. So that's how you create a history of all the transactions that you've made. So this is a similar thing, but it's on the blockchain. So there are some advantages over there that you once a transaction is printed on the blockchain as a block, it can never be changed, and and it's available for everyone to see. So that's what is happening. A blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum blockchain is actually is maintaining this digital ledger and like a record of all the transactions that are happening, which validates that transaction has happened. So what happens is, a request goes into the network. Okay, you have to make a transaction, so you send a request to the network, and then what happens is there are these nodes. Okay, nodes are nothing but a group of computers who have taken up the task to validate a transaction that's happening. So a transaction that happens is not validated by just one person, but it's validated by all the nodes together. So that's what legitimizes that transaction. So you push the transaction and create multiple blocks out of it, and once the validation is done, each block will be will be printed on the blockchain. So if you notice that every block also has a block hash. So what happens is this hash is based on, it is linked to the previous hash that was generated. So that's how you are able to create a chain of these blocks, and you print them on the in the blockchain. So since every hash is connected with the one that happened previously, you cannot change the order, you cannot manipulate that. So that's what makes a blockchain immutable. uh, yeah, so that's like a basic info on how a blockchain works. Now, to access to access tokens or something like to access an asset on the blockchain, you need a crypto wallet, which is your connection to the blockchain, right? So, what does a crypto wallet do? Well, on a crypto wallet, you can basically store, send, or receive cryptocurrencies or other type of assets. So every wallet will have like a public address and a private address. So the public address is like, if you want to see an example from the real world, a public address is like your email. You can share your email with anyone, and they can send you details. They can send you an email, and in the crypto wallet there is also a private key. So this private key is like your password, and this is the only access to the wallet. So it is that's why it's so important to keep your private keys safe, right? So yeah, each time your wallet interacts with a transaction, like if you want to conduct a transaction, your wallet will ask you to sign every transaction. So that's where you use your private key to sign that transaction, and the transaction goes on. So, and when it comes to crypto wallets, there are different types of wallets. Like you can use a soft wallet like a Metamask. It's like available through the internet, and then there are also hard wallets that say like a plug-in device, like a USB device that you can use to store your assets or tokens outside the like offline. Yeah, that's what is about crypto wallets. And when it comes to security, you have to be really sure to never lose your keys. And while conducting any transactions through the crypto wallets, you have to double check. Always make sure to double check the addresses that you are using. Make sure that they are correct. And also, network types is a very important thing. Like as you know, there are different blockchains. So, like a crypto wallet can be connected to a blockchain, but uh, you may want to send an asset or a token which is compatible on Ethereum blockchain, but accidentally if you use the Tron blockchain, then that whole transaction gets invalid and you lose your crypto, right? So you cannot stop that from happening. So you have to be very careful on what networks you're using to transfer these assets. It's kind of simple now, like with products also improving, products like Metamask also improving their Metamask and other popular services, they are improving their user onboardings and their user interfaces to make sure that mistakes don't happen. But still, it's very important to make sure that you are following these steps. Next up is a smart contract. Smart contract is a very interesting thing, and that was created by the Ethereum team. So, what is a smart contract is actually like a computer program that automates the execution of a contract. So, what is a contract? It's an agreement that will have terms, and it will have terms between two or more parties. So so this contract, what it does is that a smart contract, what it does is that automatically it will see that if the terms of the contract are met. If the terms of the contract, all the terms are met, it will just process that transaction, right? In a very simple example, imagine party A wants to send funds to party B. Okay, so what the smart contract will do is it will make sure that the funds are there with party A, which has to be sent to party B, and the return that party A gets, like say he wants to give some tokens and get some goods in return. So the smart contract will make sure that both these things are there, is ready to go, and then it will conduct the transaction. So usually, when you're doing these sort of transactions in a traditional system, there is human intervention that's required. So it does so a smart contract on a blockchain makes sure that the contracts once deployed cannot be tampered with. So yeah, that's one quality of a smart contract. And a smart contract are also auditable, which means that you can check the smart. If you go to the smart contract, you'll be able to see what are all the terms that are there required to execute a transaction through the smart contract. So this is a very simple example of how one can just say send funds from one wallet to another wallet or conduct a transaction using smart contracts. But basically, it's like a program itself. It's using if and then statements to enforce the terms of the contract, right? So you can even run complex apps on this. You can build an app which is just based on the smart contract. So that's what happens even in the game, right? The game assets are on, they have a contract, so they check if you guys have burnt uh, right amount of Promix, the right amount of CBX, and you've completed all the steps. The contract will see that, and it will just automatically verify that, oh, this is done. So now it will release the asset from the contract to your wallet, for example, when you're mining assets. So yeah, I hope there are no questions. Let me just check the chat.
I think everyone's been listening to you really carefully. So I don't think there are any questions as of now. You explained really nicely. If there are any questions, you guys can just, write down in the chat and we'll take them up.
Yeah, cool. So moving on to the next section, part two of this presentation, where we can go over some stuff about how you can use these assets on chain. So we'll go over how to set up a wallet, how to import custom tokens, how to send assets to CropBytes, how to withdraw assets from CropBytes. So there is so much more happening when you think about on-chain activity, but we are just limiting this to the steps that might be required by you to conduct these transactions. It's always advisable that you do your own research, you understand the processes, and be very careful when you're doing these stuff online on chain. So yeah, the first step is we'll see how to set up a MetaMask wallet. This is an example for MetaMask, but you can use this. The process is almost similar for any other wallet like Trust Wallet or Coinbase or anything. So we'll take an example of MetaMask. All right. So, MetaMask is just like an application that you can use on your phone, or say even add it as a extension on your browser. So you can, if you're doing it on your browser, you can just go to Google Chrome extensions or your extension store and uh, uh, look for this app, or you can just directly go to and get the files from there, get the download links from there. So you can add it add it to your Chrome, or if you're doing it on your phone, you can just install the application there. And the first step over there will be to basically create an account over there. So they're going to give you some warnings. You'll have to read all the steps very carefully, and then you continue. And then you have to create a password. Okay, so this is different from the seed phrase and everything. We have to be very careful. You save it somewhere because MetaMask will sometime ask for it. So as you can see written over here, don't lose this. Okay, so this is the password to your MetaMask wallet. And on I would highly recommend that you guys go through all the stuff that they have put on their website. So they tell you in detail what are all the things that you can do using your wallet and how to set it up and different things around that. So this is another aspect of the MetaMask wallet, that you can, once you created a wallet, you can create a secret recovery phase to it. Now this phrase can be used across different platforms, because this is your private key to your address on the blockchain. So it's not just on MetaMask. You want to import this address on any other platform, they will ask you for the recovery phase, and then you can sort of import that over there. Yeah, so make sure that before you, like when they're revealing this to you, you have to make sure that you don't disclose this to anyone. This is an example of a secret recovery phrase. So make sure that one good practice is to always write down this somewhere and save a physical copy somewhere. That's what people usually do. But yeah, the point to take away is that you have to be very careful with this seed phrase, because that's a private key to your address. Anyone has this key, they can just access your wallet, your address on the chain, and conduct transactions from there. So yeah, this is also an example of how that works. Like you have to put the seed phrases in the right order to gain access. Yeah, that's it. This is how you set up a account in the MetaMask wallet. There's also some more stuff that I wanna show that you can do on MetaMask. So just a second. Yeah. So you can add a network, like on when you create, you have to add networks over there. So these are all the networks that are supported. For our purposes, we can add the Ethereum and the Polygon networks, and you don't have to add a custom network, because usually they are there in the options that by default they're there in the options. But in case you wanna do it, in case there are any platforms where you have to add it custom, you'll be able to do that also. You can add a custom network to your MetaMask wallet, which you can use to then interact and do transaction on that particular blockchain. Yeah, this is all about that. Usually you won't be required to do this because we are on Ethereum and Polygon. There's another thing about MetaMask, that you have to import your tokens. So since we are using CBX, which is a custom token on Ethereum. By default, you may not be able to see it. Although there's an option of auto detect tokens, but you can anyways import. So if you want to import CBX tokens into your MetaMask or something, you'll have to add the CBX contract, which is on Ethereum. So you just copy paste and you add the. So let me just show you that page. Yeah, when you go to your MetaMask, you'll be able to see options to add. There'll be an option somewhere. Wait, yeah, here, import tokens. So when you click on import tokens, you'll be able to see the screen. uh, this is one way of doing it. Like you can just add it from MetaMask, or you can even add it from the contract, which I'll show you later. So here you can add the contract of the token that you want to add. So our asset contract is in the blog, so make sure you're using that contract alone. You do that. The token name is CropBytes. When you're adding the crop assets contract, you can just add it as CropBytes, and the decimals are zero, because it can be zero, or some tokens use 18. But since these are individual units, you can't trade 1.5 or decimal. You can't trade these assets in fractions, so the decimal will be 0. So you can add that and import that into your wallet. Now that you've imported and you're able to see this wallet, you're able to see this balance in your MetaMask. So if asset is sent to this wallet address that you've created over there, you'll be able to see it there. What happens is, if you've not imported the token contract onto your wallet, you won't be able to see it. Even though you can send the asset virtually, that's possible, but you won't be able to see it in your dashboard because you have to add this custom token. So yeah, that's why we need to do this. There's another way to do this. Every either on Etherscan or our Polygon. If you want to add the Polygon, sorry, the assets contract, you can go to the contract, the assets contract that is there. Okay, wait, let me just show you that also. As you can see, this is the contract. Here, you can. This works with any contract actually. Even the CBX contract on Ethereum, you'll be able to see this option. So if you just go to the profile and just say add a token to Web3 wallet. When you click on that, you'll be given the option by default. If you've added MetaMask to your system, it'll by default ask for MetaMask, and you can directly connect it from there as well. That's about adding tokens. Let me just go back to the presentation. This is the next part. The next, did we cover? Yeah, we've covered everything. All right. So this is the next part where we're going to talk about how to deposit assets into CropBytes. So this is a more this is where you have to be much more careful than when you're withdrawing, because on our platform we make sure that people are not making wrong transactions. So, but that might not be the case on other platforms. So you have to be very careful when you're sending assets to the game. Not just assets, even tokens. So it's the same logic for assets and cryptocurrency, like the CBX or TRX that you send into into the game. So when it comes to assets, where can you buy these assets outside the game? We'll talk about how you can take them outside the game, like the asset that you own, but you can also get them, like apart from the in-game market, you can get them outside, say on OpenSea. So OpenSea is one good place to get, and we've also started, we've also listed our collection on Nifty Swap. So what happens is, once you guys are able to take your assets outside the game, you'll be able to provide liquidity or list your assets on these platforms. So you go to OpenSea, and if you when you've connected your wallet which has these assets to OpenSea, you'll be able to list them over there for sale. Or if you have the tokens, like I think on OpenSea, you'll have to use Ethereum or USDC to trade. So if you have the balance for those tokens and someone has placed a sell order, say on OpenSea, you'll be able to buy it from them also. So OpenSea is an assets marketplace where you can just like people list their assets and you can buy from there. Uh, on Nifty Swap, there will be a what Nifty Swap does is actually they create liquidity pools for assets. So we're not going to get deeper into what a liquidity pool is. Basically, it's an automated market which uh, okay, I don't want to get deeper into that, but what happens is, when you're providing liquidity in a pool, if you have a lot of liquidity and you're providing liquidity in the marketplace, each time a transaction happens, you'll be able to earn some fees out of that, like a small amount. That's the logic behind an automated marketplace. So yeah, that doesn't mean that you'll just take your assets outside the game and put it on Nifty Swap, because as you know, like the returns from your assets you get while the assets are deployed inside the game. But yeah, we'll anyways invariably be working with great dApps, great projects where you can use your assets. So that'll definitely happen. But yeah, so you can get these assets from these platforms, OpenSea, Nifty Swap. You connect the same wallet that you used where you added the contract and everything. You attach that wallet to OpenSea, and how you can transfer is that, basically, if you see the screen over here, um, this is on testnet, but this is how your uh, deposit screen will look like, right? So if you want to deposit Zing into your wallet inside the game, there will be this. If you see under the QR code, there's that field where you'll be able to see a wallet address. So that's your wallet address for Zing on CropBytes, right? So you have to copy that, and you go to say OpenSea, and there you have to withdraw the asset. So if you have the asset on OpenSea, you'll be able to transfer it from there. So you have to use this deposit address from CropBytes and put it in the withdrawal section on OpenSea. So make sure you do that, and you make sure you're always double checking the addresses and everything that you've put over there, verifying the networks that you're using, verifying the quantity that you have to send, and then you make the transaction, and you will find it in your game. Same thing for withdrawal of assets. Um, you can, so this is the withdrawal screen, which is also from testnet. Um, Here in the under the beneficiary section, you'll be able to find the withdrawal address. Uh, no, I'm so sorry about that. So if you wanna transfer your assets from CropBytes to say a third party platform, you'll have to go to the deposit section on that platform and use that address and paste it over here. So you'll be able to paste it over here, and you enter the amount, you add the 2FA code, and you'll be able to withdraw from here. So it's as simple as that. These are all the things that we thought of covering with you guys. I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot of questions from especially from the last two sections. So I'm just looking forward to getting these questions from you in the chat. Okay, where is the apple tree? Okay, I'm just looking at some questions. Okay, Harry's saying, where is the apple tree on OpenSea? So on OpenSea, Harry, you have to search for CropBytes. So you search for CropBytes, and you'll be able to see the CropBytes this thing, and then collection, and then you can find the apple tree inside that. So why there is no listing or buy history? That is because you guys are the owner of the assets, and your assets are in the game right now. You're not been able to take it outside, right? So that's why there is no liquidity in that marketplace. So once you're able to do that, we'll also see other options of how to provide liquidity over there. So once you're able to do that, you'll be able to place orders. But what you can do right now is, if you have token balance on OpenSea, say I think Ethereum or something that is required for the marketplace, you can place a bid. So you can place a bid and keep. Uh, Anyone wants to come and buy that, they can sell the asset to you for that price. What is the fee for withdrawing of assets? This is something that I'm not exactly sure. There will be the network fee, but what is exactly the logic behind that? Because it's more complicated, right? There is the grazing mechanism also. There's grazing fee involved. So how do we balance between that, like taking it outside the game and sending it for grazing and things like that? So that is a logic that has to be finalized, and we'll be giving you proper details on that when the withdrawals go live. Yeah, I think those are all the questions. To someone who has joined later, I just wanted to again talk about the small sneak peek that we had about what's next for service economy and superheroes. So yeah, let's just dig into that a bit. And meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, just put down in the general chat, and we'll be able to take that. So what I want to say about this is that right now, as you guys know, uh, asset mining. The jobs was released in asset mining as phase one of service economy, and we saw that in the beginning there was a lot of demand for that, and we could also learn a lot. We could also test a lot and see what the user's experience has been. So definitely the flow and the logics for asset mining, they did go on, they did undergo some changes. There will be further changes in that as well. So it has a bright future in the game. So what is more interesting is that now you may I've we might see a lot of people saying that there are not enough jobs, right? So that is because now that is the jobs that are available right now, that is 100% dependent on the demand for asset mining right now. That's the case right now, because asset mining is the only flow through which jobs are created. So what is how we are gonna fix this, or moving forward, what is the way forward over here is that there will be many more jobs, many more opportunities to create jobs. So for example, you'll be able to create you'll be able to, so there'll be changes in when you're interacting with your croplands, when you're watering, when you're collecting power, when you're feeding animals. All of this process are right now very simple. You click and you have the balances and the work is done. It's quite fast, right? So there will be changes in that. We'll be adding mini games and things like that. So it'll be a much more fun process. But what will also happen is that while this happens, there will be many multifolds of jobs that will be created, because there are so many like the frequency of these activities happening is very high. So we'll be able to create a lot more jobs compared to what it is right now. So another great thing when what happens is when we are releasing this is that even farmers that don't have a lot of assets, even if they have a small farm, even they will be able to provide jobs, right? So you might think, okay, everyone is going to provide jobs. So is it going to be like, will it get expensive or something like that? Like, what will be the scene there? So actually, it will not be an issue. Like, what is happening is that the cost that you are, the fees that you would pay to complete a simple job, even say for a cropping work or a watering work that you have, if you're providing a job for that, the extra expense that is coming will be somehow covered in the logic of that. I don't have exact details of how the team will do it, but the logic will make sure that you're not creating like a extra expense because you're creating a job. uh, I think they will do something with how, like, the output of extracts or something like that. So yeah, and another advantageous thing is that when you're automating your farm work, all the little jobs that you have on your farm, when you're automating them through jobs, your farm will be at 100% efficiency, right? If you look at the, for example, there was the farm tracker app, or there are other apps where you are, or even if you do the calculation yourself, you'll see that, okay, this is an asset, this produces, takes this much every day, produces this much every day. Say for example, your croplands and your trees and wells, all of these things, uh, they, when you are doing it yourself, when you're completing the job yourself, it'll take a lot more time. Like, you may miss out on exact times when the crops come out, right, for the harvest. So when you're automating this, it will make your farm's output much better. Your farm will be working at 100% efficiency. So you'll be able to sort of cover and gain advantage by doing this, by giving out these jobs, right? So the fees will also be dependent on the kind of job, how tough the job is, and things like that. And another very interesting thing that's gonna happen over here, and this is, I guess, this will be great news to the people who are holding on to superheroes, is that you'll be able to use your superheroes to complete jobs. Superheroes have special powers. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do these simple jobs themselves. So apart from all the utilities that they have, you'll be able to use your superheroes to help mine your own assets, where you don't have to give out jobs, or you can also employ them on working on other jobs outside, right? So now, since I've said this, you might be thinking that, oh, what if all the superheroes take up all the jobs, right? Well, that will not happen. I'm sure you might have that doubt, because what happens when you add more avenues for job creation, that is through different gameplays in the game, is that the ratio between the number of jobs that will be created versus the number of superheroes that people hold will be huge, right? So it'll be a very small percentage of jobs that will be taken up using the superheroes. So this is something that just solely benefits those farmers who've been holding on to these assets, right? So this is a new utility that they get through out of this. Yeah, that's it. I hope you like the updates, and obviously, this is action items in the roadmap. We'll be giving you out more. We'll be releasing documents around this, and this is something that is something to be excited about. And also, in the documents that we release, we'll put down everything else that we are picking up for the next quarter. And it's been a great last quarter because we were able to achieve most of the targets, and I think CBX burn is the only thing remaining, but there is no issue over there. It's just that the team is waiting for the right time to do the CBX burn on chain. So that's the only thing that's holding it back. Apart from that, we were able to meet our targets, and we're looking forward to like sharing the next steps with you in the next update about the roadmap. Yeah, that was about that. You have any questions, feel free to put in the chats, but we can move on to the next section, which is uh, which is a trivia game. I know you guys must have been waiting for this. So this is a trivia game around blockchain. All right. So we just spoke about all the stuff, and you can use the knowledge you gain to answer these questions, and also it's got general knowledge questions included. All right. So I'll just paste the rules in the general chat. You can take a look at that. So I'll be posting a question, and then you can send your answers to that. The first person to send the answer will get the points for it, and the farmer with maximum points will be able to win the trivia. All right. Hope you guys are ready. Let's get started. Let me just grab the first question. All right. Hope you guys are ready. The first question is coming up, and here it is. Right answers. Harry Bob always goes above and beyond his answers. Truly appreciate that, man. So badly miss the music, man. Yeah, Harry bought GPT. Correct. All right. I guess everyone knows the answer to that. Let's move on to the next question. If you've been listening carefully, you will know the answer to this. Second question coming right up. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything right now. Yeah, the right answer is false because a node is not something that contains a transaction. A node is a network of computers that approve the transactions, and the transactions are inside a block. So the answer is false. Absolutely. CB trivia is a cultural thing. We will never ever get rid of this. All right. Question number 3 is coming up. Okay, this is an interesting question. Let's see who can answer this. All right. Here's the third question. Nice. Okay, so the right answer is no, not do it, because it's not that technically he could never do it. The logic over here is that you need to hold the maximum number of tokens. You have to have the majority stake in the majority amount of tokens in the blockchain, and then you'll be able to take a decision. But on the Bitcoin blockchain, that's far from possible because the the, the volume is divided between wallets. And yes, 51% attack. Thanks, Harry. Guys, always pay attention to the stuff that Harry is saying. Always more stuff to learn. Alright, question number 4. Here we go. Alright, question number 4. Yeah, you have to think a bit about the token standard that the CropBytes assets use to be able to answer that. The answer is yes, you can transfer more than one CropBytes asset in a single transaction because CropBytes assets are ERC1155 tokens, so they are semi-fungible tokens. So you can send them together as in one transaction. Which is usually not true with NFTs, which is the ERC721 token standards. In that you won't be able to do multiple. You have to do one transaction for every asset that you want to interact with. All right, moving on to the next question. The next question, here it is. Wall is asking, is it one type of assets or multiple? Yeah, it has to be one type of assets. But it has to be one type of asset, which is a token ID. It will have a token ID to it. But any number of those assets you'll be able to do. That's absolutely right, Simple Meme Gamer. That's the theory around the motivation behind why the blockchain was created, Bitcoin was created, was during the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. But yeah, we cannot be 100% sure what was happening in the mind of Satoshi Nakamoto because none of us know him. So, yeah, moving on to the next question. Yeah, so the right answer was 2009 for the previous question. Going on to the next question, number 6. Here it is. Technically, the blockchain was released in 2008. So that's right about it. The blockchain was launched in 2008. Aslan, you have to win. To answer everything right, then you'll get prize. Okay. question is coming up, and the question is, which is the biggest decentralized exchange in the world in terms of volume, in terms of trade volume? Yes, the right answer is Uniswap. That's the largest decentralized exchange. You might think that why isn't Bitcoin the biggest exchange? Well, it is not an exchange, it's a blockchain. You can link to the blockchain and create an exchange. So that's what an exchange is, right? So Uniswap was the first and is the largest decentralized exchange to the date. Good stuff. Okay, this is a very specific question. Let's see who gets this right. The next question is, the concept of decentralized finance was created on which blockchain? Yes, the right answer is Ethereum. So with the launch of smart contracts, you could create contracts basically. You can create transactions and automate them. So that's what led the first use case, the first major use case for a smart contract, I would say, was the onset of the decentralized finance, the whole decentralized finance industry, right? Also, then also the DAO model was created because of these smart contracts. So yeah, a simple code has created so much possibilities. All right. The next question is the last question. Number 9 is the last question. Who was the first? Who was the first one to conduct a transaction in the Bitcoin blockchain? Alright, that's it. That was the last question. I would like to thank everyone who joined in for the call today. A lot was shared. I was hoping to get more questions from you guys, but it's all okay. You guys can, if you have anything that pops in your mind, just make sure to put it out in the community chats, in the general chat, either on Discord or on Telegram. Make sure you're asking your questions and getting your answers. Make sure to tag admins asking your questions. Alright, I think that's it. I'm gonna sign off. And you guys have a great weekend. Have a lot of fun, and let's catch up for the next call. Thanks, everyone.